Voracek there turning away from Zidlitzky. Back to Briere. Fire! Oh, Seam deflected stop. Gagne! He scored!
Alright, what is up everyone? My name is Chris, and today I've been thinking about this a lot because it's kind of something that I haven't really brought up and I haven't really talked about much. And realistically, it's not something that the Flyers really have to look at. It's the free agent market for this season. Obviously, we don't really know when this is going to be with everything going on. All of the contracts got extended to November and everything for the RFAs and UFAs. So realistically, I'm assuming it's going to be around a time somewhere, down the road, towards maybe the winter months in the fall, and going into the winter, things like that. But the free agent market, this is I guess you could say a weird, not necessarily weird free agent market, but it's one that has a couple star players, but not necessarily many humongous names that are oh, this player's gonna go here. It's not like a couple years ago with John Tavares, right? It's kind of just something that's just all right, there's some good players, there usually is every year. So starting out, there's definitely a few that are ones that are, some that you can think, yeah, they're probably going to get re-signed by their team. Alex Pietrangelo, he's probably the biggest name on this list, along with Braden Holtby, Taylor Hall, Tyson Barrie, Torrey Krug, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Mikael Granlund, Mikko Koivu, Justin Schultz, many others, Mike Hoffman. And realistically to me, I think the biggest name is probably Pietrangelo, then you get through Holtby. It doesn't really matter what order they're in. They're all very good players. Pietrangelo, he's probably going to get re-signed by the Blues. I don't really see him going anywhere. He's their captain. The Blues definitely have movable contracts, money-wise, things like that, business-wise. They'll definitely be able to re-sign Pietrangelo. I don't really think that Scandella signing is going to really, put a burden into them trying to re-sign their captain. I mean, why would you let go of your captain? That just doesn't make sense to me. Braden Holtby, I think he'll get re-signed by the Caps. Realistically, I don't know, if that's what many Caps fans think will happen, but I think he's going to get re-signed. I can't see Holtby leaving. If he does, I think the Caps are somewhat screwed. I don't know. Samsonov, very good young goaltender. I don't know if he's ready for that, starter. I know Holtby had an offseason. I just don't know about Samsonov yet. Now, and I know that these are all big names, but I've been thinking about this because there are guys that I think that the Flyers might be able to get, but cap-wise, it's not looking good for the Flyers. It's realistically, it's kind of just it's tough. I mean, they're, they are the sixth worst team here on Cap Friendly with the lowest cap space. So they have the sixth, they're tight. They're really tight. They don't even have $1 million. Their final cap space, again, this is per Cap Friendly, $70,954. On the long-term injured reserve, they have $1,264,206, so 1.2. Some of it's going to go away. Some of it is going to be good. They're going to be getting some money back. Obviously, you have the end of Radko Gudas's, the 30% retain, so they get $1 million back there. You have, some guys becoming UFAs and RFAs this season. And at the end of next season, the Flyers, realistically, they don't have anyone that is actually becoming UFA, RFA, but in the next couple years, they will. They'll have some big names. You have Carter Hart. That's another thing. You have Hart. You have guys like Sean Couturier that end in a couple years. You have Scott Lawton, Michael Raffel, Felipe Myers. You have a lot of guys here, and it's going to be tough for the Flyers. They have a lot of things to work out contract-wise, and that's why I'm thinking about these free agents, because there are some that they might be able to, re-sign, or sorry, not re-sign, but, and sign as, players coming in for next season, but I really just don't see it, and I've been thinking about this more and more, and I really don't see the Flyers realistically making a move at the free agent, in free agency. They don't necessarily need to either. I know I've talked about it before with, Eric Halla, Craig Smith, and Vladislav Nemestikov. I've talked about those guys. I don't really see it anymore. I don't really think the Flyers have to do much. I feel like this team is good. Contract-wise, I think they're, obviously money, they're tight, but I think it's manageable, and I think with the way that Chuck Fletcher has been this season, I think the way that he was this season, the way that he proved himself, where he comes in and he's a rough GM with Minnesota, and the biggest reason why they're really stuck today is mostly because of Cap and the things that Fletcher did with them, right? And I think the biggest story with the Flyers this season is that so many people changed. And, you have the whole thing with Alain Mignon when he signed is he doesn't treat rookies right? Look at how many rookies the Flyers have on their team. There's, the thing with Michel Therrien and Mike Yeo. There was always that whole spiel that, Mike Yeo wasn't, that great. And, Therrien was kind of an a-hole at some parts, and I get it and all, but it's just like, and it's the same thing with Fletcher too, because he signs those horrible contracts for Suter and Parise a while ago. He's not the greatest with money, and I think he's done a lot of things that realistically help out the Flyers that he didn't do that great with Minnesota, and I think that's the biggest story. He's changed, and as of right now, realistically, the only thing that we have to see change is that he's just a little bit better with money. Obviously, the Kevin Hayes contract, you guys know my thoughts about that. I've said it before, that had to be needed, but and had to be done. But realistically, money-wise, I think that's the biggest thing. And I think Fletcher has done a good job where he's put everything together now that the Flyers have. Realistically, you can never have too much depth. So right now, the Flyers don't really need much. I think it's really, they can really just pick. They don't have to explore much. They can kind of just look at what they have. They have a lot of rookies. They have a lot of depth. They can kind of go from there and see what they have. So for the 2020 free agent market, I don't really see the Flyers looking at anyone. But I think it's more of, if they could, they'd have to do this. And if they needed to, they'd do this, etc. So let me know what you guys think below. If there's anyone you think they could go out there for, maybe a trade if that's even necessary. But remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.